Welcome to EnVision Center News, where we discuss community impact and involvement with today's nonprofit leaders and philanthropists.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. Excited to talk some theater, which, anytime somebody associated with theater, performing arts comes on the podcast, I'm thrilled. So excited to talk about A Midsummer Night's Dream. But before we get into specifics, how about you each just introduce yourselves? Sydney, you can start.
Sure. My name is Sydney Carlson. I am playing Puck in this upcoming show.
My name is Angel Rogers, and I play Lysander, one of the lovers.
I am Tim Bangle, and I am the director.
Angel, can you tell me a little bit about the plot? I mean, it's a very famous show. I think most people know it's Shakespeare, but it might have been a while since somebody watched it or read it in high school. So just remind folks, what is this story about?
Right. So I'd say there are like 3 different kind of storylines, but they're all in the same story. There are the lovers, where basically there's Hermia, Helena, Demetrius, and Lysander. Hermia and Lysander are in love, but Demetrius is supposed to marry Hermia, and Helena is in love with Demetrius, and so there's this whole lover situation that's not a very good situation. And then there's the fairies, and they're like, I don't know, they're fairies. And then there's the mechanicals, and they're super funny. They're always very entertaining to watch. And then they all kind of intertwine. Help.
I mean, she's on the right track. It's ultimately a love story, and she hit on the lovers aspect of it, but the fairies kind of mess things up. Mm-hmm. They toil and tinker with the affairs of men and cause problems. And the mechanicals are just a group of blue-collar workers that just want to put on a play and have fun, and they get messed with as well. And that's essentially the basic plot points, really.
What made you want to take on a Shakespeare play?
Necessity. This last year, as LPO, we've kind of gone through some changes. We lost Keely in the spring, and
she didn't die.
Right? The poor choice of words. She moved to Spokane and stepped down from the executive director position, and I was voted in as artistic director, and we needed funds. So Shakespeare doesn't cost royalties, so we chose to do something that was free and go from there. And
were you kind of a Shakespeare fan before that, or did you kind of have to learn Shakespeare for this production?
I played Theseus in high school. That was my only experience with Shakespeare up until now. I knew at some point as a director that I would want to direct a Shakespeare show, just to challenge myself. This one I was familiar with enough to be brave enough to tackle it.
Yeah, I do think it takes a little bit of bravery to take on Shakespeare, for sure. Sydney, tell me about your character.
So,
well, can we first go talk about the phone call, because she did an audition for Puck.
She didn't, you said? Mm-mm. So when they auditioned, they had to audition for a specific character?
No, but she didn't put it down as,
I see.
option.
I have been doing theater since I was very little, but I only very recently, since I did Legally Blonde a couple years ago, started auditioning, right? Because when I did children's theater, everybody gets in. Everybody gets a part.
Mm-hmm.
So part of my character development before I graduate high school was to start getting out of my comfort zone. And so auditioning for shows like this was kind of my way of doing that. But I also don't like getting my hopes up and having my spirits crushed. So I didn't put any character specifically when I auditioned.
Okay.
But I had a really amazing time auditioning. I mean, I was scared out of my mind. And then, they want me to come back to callbacks, which is great. I really was not expecting a role at all. I thought that this was just going to be a little audition and they were going to say good luck next time and I would go on with my high schooling. But I get a call at about probably 11 o'clock after callbacks, and Tim asked me to be Puck, and I didn't believe him. I was like, nope, you're lying.
So you were familiar with who the characters were? You had done your research, you knew, okay.
I mean, relatively, I had read it for an English project in like 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I knew the story. I knew that Puck was relatively important to the storyline. But I had also seen other people read during the callbacks for Puck, and I was like, guys, I could never. But I guess there was something in me that I did not see myself that, you know, I'm finally being able to conquer and express.
Mm-hmm. And you wanted to bring up the phone call because you had to keep telling her, no, I'm serious. You're getting the part.
Well, yeah, there's always, or not always, but once in a while when casting people, there's that level of joy that comes through the other end of the phone. And that was that conversation. It's like you could tell she was happy and excited and overwhelmed and very much interested in the role, but she didn't think that we would have cast her for, because it's the lead role.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
and
I think so too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We made the right choice. She's absolutely brilliant.
Wonderful. Can't wait to see it. Already bought my tickets. Angel, what's been the hardest part about your character, playing your character?
Well, it's not my first time playing a guy, but I'd say it's my first time playing a guy in an actual, like, big show, because I played Christmas Present, and she was also a guy, actually, but I had the opportunity to kind of mold it into myself, whereas with Lysander, like, he's a guy, he's a dude.
You're trying to tell the audience that this is a man on stage right now. Right.
And one of the things that I'm struggling with right now is, like, laughing in a deeper register, something like that.
Not
because
giggling like a girl.
Yeah, like my laugh tends to go up really high, and so that's been something. But also just honestly finding him. Like, I feel like I haven't fully found him as a character yet. Like, there's still some more work I need to do.
What do you mean by that? Find him as a character? Because somebody who's not an actor, not a theater person might be like, oh, find him, open up your script. There he is. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of wondering the same thing. And I was just talking to Tim about this recently. It's like, what even is acting? Like, how does one even act? And I've been acting for, like, quite a few years now. I feel like my process of finding the character is to ask an abnormal amount of questions, for one. I especially do that at the beginning. And then it tends to kind of taper off, and then I'm like, okay, back to questions. But to establish who this character's background is, like, where were they born? What were their parents like? You know, who are the relationships with with the characters in the story? Like, there's this one character, Hippolyta, who, she's one of the Athenians. The lovers are part of the Athenians. I think I forgot to mention that part earlier. We were in rehearsal recently, and I was like, what's the connection between Lysander and Hippolyta? You know, what's that dynamic there? And so a lot of questions about dynamics and background, and I feel like that's how I've come to find the characters.
Were you surprised when you got the part? How did you react?
Yes, I thought when I was auditioning, because obviously I was like, Puck would be pretty cool to get, and, like, everybody wants Puck, but I was interested in one of the lovers. I think maybe I wanted to play Helena. Mm-hmm. But then he called me and he was like, so you did get one of the lovers, but it's Lysander. It's not one of the girls. And so I was like, okay. And for a while, I was like pretty taken aback. Like when people asked me like, oh, did you get in? What role did you get? And I was like, well, I got one of the lovers, but it's a dude. And they were like, oh, and I was like, yeah. But now I've come to terms with it, and it's like it's super fun, and I'm really glad that I got this role. I'm very blessed.
Well, the reason she got the role is because some of the younger boys that showed up to audition they were dwarfed by her acting, right? And so we had some pretty solid women or girls, but we didn't have a lot of strong teenage boys. So I knew what Angel was capable of because I've worked. This is my 4th project with her, so I knew how far I could push her and what I could ask of her. And so I kind of leaned on her to fill a gap that we had.
And what are you doing that's maybe different or unexpected from your typical Shakespeare show?
All of it, other than the dialogue.
I was going to say, is the script pretty much, yeah.
The script's the same. We've cut a lot of it to trim it down. But
how long will it be? Do you know yet?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
It's still too soon. I think we have 2 opening musical numbers before we even get to any of the dialogued or the scripted scenes. Puck has an opening moment that's not in the script at all, and then we have an introduction to New York City through Welcome to the Jungle. We have a montage to Guns N' Roses and introduces the world, and then we go into the show. So there's a lot of music and a lot of projection that we're incorporating into it. We have a ballet using Candace's group.
The Coca-Cola Conservatory.
Yeah, to do a wedding dance between Acts 4 and 5. And the whole bottom transformation is a little bit different.
We're talking about a head that usually...
It's normally like some sort of, head that is mounted on the actor, but it's not that for us. It's a little bit... Because it's in New York and it's at night, there's some shadow play that we're going to do with it and kind of imply that the people, the mechanicals, are freaking out at the shadow work and, nighttime New York City, rats on the street kind of thing.
Why did you choose New York?
There's a lot of depth in that world. I've never been there, but it's always intrigued me. It's a spot that I'd like to visit someday. But there's so many layers of street people and personas in New York City, and the ferries embody that in our show. So we've got a ferry that's homeless or portrays a homeless person. We've got a ferry that moonlights or moon days. During the daytime, she plays a housekeeper or a hotel housekeeping person. Titania is a news reporter. Oberon's a Russian mobster. So various street elements, what we've called street elements, are built into the ferry aspect. The Athenians are kind of the upper class, and then the mechanicals are blue collar stuff. Puck is a mime / clown in the world.
A talking mime.
A talking mime.
And what era is it?
Today.
It's today. Okay. That was obviously, I've seen some of your stuff on social media, and I was like, I'm not sure if it's set today or maybe a few decades back. But okay,
we haven't shown any of the costumes yet.
Right.
Like the stuff with Sydney that I posted yesterday. That was just something we have her using for
now.
For now.
Yeah, as a placement. So, Sydney, did you have a favorite Shakespeare play, or had you even thought about Shakespeare in that way before this show?
Shakespeare makes me mad. I don't like the way he writes. I don't like his stories. I'm sure he was a great guy or whatever, but he's dead.
So you would never do another Shakespeare show?
No, for sure. I love that the way Shakespeare is being interpreted now makes it so much more interesting. Like, we get to see these different adaptations of shows that are set in New York or are set in the 50s. Like, there's so much creative freedom that I have learned through this show, right? Like, I had not given it a second thought since I've done it in school, right? Because that's my only experience is doing one-pagers in English about Romeo and Juliet. But
So you wouldn't want to go see like a traditional Romeo and Juliet at like the West End in England?
I did see, like, we watched a lot of movie clips when I was doing Romeo and Juliet in English class, and I loved the ones where the stage was in the middle, and it was just everybody was circled around. I thought those were so cool. So I think yes, maybe for Romeo and Juliet, but I don't know. It's more fun to be a part of it and to have that creative freedom to interpret the characters and create the backstories. But I think I've always been like that with theater and movies. Like, I want to be behind the camera.
Can you talk about any interactions that the two of you have?
In general.
Let's open that up to interactions when you're just kind of behind the scenes rehearsing or as characters. Any, like, what has it been like working together? Have you worked together before?
We did Alice in Wonderland.
We did. And
Okay.
that's... Never mind, that's not where we met. Take that back.
That's where Tim and I met.
Oh.
So you worked together on Alice in Wonderland, but Alice in Wonderland is more like children's
Yes.
theater, right? Where you did that. So this is kind of the first big main stage community
so.
theater opportunity that you've had to work together. And what has it been like?
We had geometry together, too, with Mr. Olmsted.
Yeah. And we watched Wicked together.
Oh, we did go see
Yeah.
Wicked together.
So you have already been kind of friends before this. This
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like the joining at the hip kind of thing that began here.
Yeah,
You
and
already
we met in middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing that I've never... I mean, because, yeah, we did... we did Alice in Wonderland. And we did
Peter Pan.
That's what it was. Yeah, I am...
Man.
Well, because I joined in like the last 10 days because the person who played the mom, she backed out for some reason, and then I joined, and then you were playing.
I was the maid, I
Yeah,
think,
and
and a
then-
pirate.
Yeah, but and I mean that's kind of hard to remember all of that, kind of a blur. But now working with you, I love seeing the way you act. You're always like add a little bit of like improv in there. Like you're not afraid to take risks, and you're so funny. Like you were so funny. Like you always just like light the stage up, like wherever you go, whatever you do, and it's always like such a pleasure to act with you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Angel is very good about her dramatics in like an emotional way. Like I always, in those sob moments, I will always catch like a little tear in her eye. I'm like, oh my God, where did that come from? Like she is so emotionally intelligent as a person, and she carries that through every character that I've worked with her, even when we were, I don't know, like, what, 11, 12?
Yeah,
Ish.
something like that.
How old are you now?
I'm going to be 17 in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I am 17. I turned 17 in December.
Okay. And what's kind of the average age ranges? I know there's like a pretty big variety in the cast.
I think the youngest is Kate, and she's probably 12. And then we've got Kate McAllister. So
We don't need to
the
say how old
average
she is.
the average is probably 40.
Yeah. What is this appropriate for all audiences, or is it more like PG or PG-13?
I would say it's probably borderline PG-13 because we do some, Shakespeare, like they do the whole "I bite my thumb at you" thing, so we modernize that and do some flipping off kind of activities in the show with one specific character. But it's not, we we've kept it pretty clean.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
That's one thing that you see in Shakespeare, like a wide range of how explicit people get with Shakespeare. I've seen Shakespeare in shows like, clips and things where like half the cast is naked. And I've seen it where it's like the opposite and they're, steampunk but fully covered kind of thing. Yeah.
well, like the first time I reread this, getting ready to start pre-production stuff, I have a very my filter or lens through what I read doesn't generally queue up on any sort of perverse content, right? And so we were having a production meeting and people were wondering how I was going to handle this because we're casting youth and there's clear innuendo in the show. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't pick up on it yet. And so I had to go back and reread it again. I'm like, oh, well, we're not going to do any of that. That's not how we're going to approach it because I've got youth as the main characters, and I don't want to deal with that. So there's a line that Lysander has at the end of the show that we can't avoid, but other than that, we've pretty much kept it pretty.
And there's a way to go about innuendo. I mean, yeah. Totally.
There's some shows that if it was another director, they might have taken it like Follies level.
Right. That's what I was saying. You can't. You totally can with Shakespeare, or you can dial it down. You know, there's youth Shakespeare programs, right? So you can take it really any direction that you want. Okay, when is the show? How do people get tickets? Where is it? When, where, how?
I guess I'll answer. We open on April 3rd, so April 3rd, 4th, and then because that Sunday is Easter, we're skipping and doing our first Thursday show, so we pick back up on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So 6 shows. Tickets are at lporep.com or at the Canada website. There's a link there, too.
Okay, cool. And how much are the tickets?
Sore subject, but
how much are
our prices are $25 like they usually are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there's some fees and things that are added, but LPO is charging $25 a pop. What has been the most, and anybody can just jump in and answer this, and you sort of already have, but what has been the most surprising part about this production? And it can be something that directly was experience you had or you saw someone else having, or it can be as simple as this costume piece wasn't what I thought it was going to be, anything. Doesn't have to be deep, but it can be.
I think, everything, as Tim said, but also I love the music. I love the music because it's very...
Is the music from all kinds of eras, or did you keep it, is it all kind of rock?
It's all modern. It's a variety. I mean, New York is a variety of people, so I wasn't looking to limit it to a specific sound. There's all kinds of music, to jazz, to Guns N' Roses, to movies and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the music and the effects and just how I love the way that Tim tells his stories because it's always so abnormal. And I love that so much because it's just such a different approach than what everyone does. And so I love being able to have my creative freedom and work with him on just anything. But yeah,
do you think this is a show that a purist could like? Or if you're like a Shakespeare purist of Oreille, you'll show up and you'll just leave angry?
I don't know.
Okay.
We have a Michael Bigley's on the cast, and he's a big Shakespeare buff, and he seems to be having the time of his life. And I would consider him, out of the entire cast, probably the most Shakespeare purist out of all of us. And if we're able to engage him, there's a good chance that we can engage the others out there as well.
Yeah. Any other answers to the surprising question? You don't have to.
My take on it, I'm pleasantly surprised at the amount of chemistry our cast has. The last show was a little rough with that. Not every show is the same, but this show, I mean, there's so much joy in the rehearsal space, and
Did you know which characters you wanted to cast as youths and which one as older folks, or did you not know till you saw them audition?
No, I knew.
Okay.
I mean, the lovers are obviously needing to be younger, but I also wanted to incorporate youth in the fairy roles as well. For the other four, there's Cobweb, Moth, Peas Blossom, and Mustard Seed. So, other than that, no.
Do you think the chemistry thing is sort of just in a way, kind of luck? Every show just sort of feels different, or is there something about this script or that makes the chemistry happen easier? Or
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a formula to it. If there is, I haven't figured that part out yet. Because I mean, Arsenic had a fantastic cast from a talent standpoint, but behind the scenes, it was a pull sometimes. So I don't know. It depends. Like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I don't really know either.
I think the big thing, at least, well, as far as chemistry goes, I'm not sure what really makes it happen, but I think rapport is a really big thing. Because, I mean, when you're in rehearsal, you have a lot of time to just make bonds with the cast members. And I feel like for the lovers specifically, we've had a lot of time to create those bonds. And I feel like that definitely shows in the characters and on stage because we already have that rapport. And I see that with a lot of the other characters as well.
The lovers and Puck have worked the hardest in this show for sure.
On the chemistry piece, or just generally?
In general, just like the most rehearsals.
I see. Yeah.
The mechanicals, they're all veteran actors, so we've spent the least amount of time with them. They've gotten their fair share, but because of the importance around the love story of the lovers, and because Puck is a centralized figure, we've spent a lot of time. And Sydney's been very gracious with her time to come in almost every 3 days. I think she's had a couple days off since January.
Sydney, what would you say to someone who's like on the fence about buying a ticket to convince them to come?
It's a risk worth taking. It's kind of like trying broccoli for the first time.
Some people would say that's a risk not worth taking. I happen to be a fan of broccoli, but many are not.
Well, there's something so valuable about being enriched by different forms of entertainment. And I think that's the beauty of live theater in this community is you're watching a movie. It's a movie without the screen because, I don't know, screens melt your brain or whatever. But it's also so untraditional in the way that we are going about it. And the relationships, like, they're contagious, right? And the emotions will bring you to tears or maybe make you giggle out loud. I don't know. Like, there's so much going on all the time that there's no way you will be bored at any moment.
Yeah. What's coming next for LPO Rep after Midsummer?
We're plugging in Steve Hammond as his first directing gig with us in October with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead,
which is sort of continuing the Shakespeare kind of vibes. Yeah,
it's not direct. It's written by Tom Stoppard, but it's based on some characters in Hamlet. He's gonna do I think we got auditions coming in sometime in May. I don't remember the dates, but we've got them booked. And then next spring, 2027, Sound of Music. It'll be our first musical after Keeley's absence.
Is that you directing or?
Yeah.
Okay. And who's your number two, your music director?
I've got to get past Midsummer right now.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be asking those questions. You're like, Connie, let me breathe for a moment. But very exciting. Obviously, people can go to the website to find out more about auditions, upcoming shows, more information will be unfolding. Give you guys a follow on social media. You have Instagram and Facebook. Is that it? Do you have TikTok also?
No.
No. That's probably for the best.
Yeah. We also have an open house.
Yes,
coming
open
up
house
on the 14th. So a week from this coming Saturday, we're going to do some previews. Sydney's going to do a preview of our opening song, Angel's got a scene in there, so it's not just to preview Midsummer. It's just to bring the community in and talk with the people that are involved in
your
LPO
new
rep shows
space.
and our new space.
Yeah.
And we're going to celebrate the history of LPO at the same time. We're putting together a presentation to show. This is our 10th show.
Yeah.
So
10 shows. Big milestone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that we didn't talk about that we need to make sure people know about the show, about LPO Rep, about anything?
I think, kind of adding on to what Sydney was saying in your question about like somebody who's on the fence about getting a ticket, this show, along with all the others that Tim does, is just so captivating, and it brings the community together, and you can feel it. Like I feel it as a cast member and playing the character, but it's just there's nothing like it, and it's always so impactful. Like there are still people talking like about A Christmas Carol, and that was like a year ago.
2.
Yeah. What? That's crazy.
Year and a half, maybe.
There's just so many interesting aspects of it, but more than that, it's the relationships that everybody has and the way we bring in the audience and like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we use the audience a lot in the show.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
That might make some people nervous.
Makes me nervous.
Don't sit in the first.
Is this like a
3
comedy
rows.
show where you don't want to sit in the front or else
Don't
you're going to be
sit in the
heckled?
first 3 rows. Especially if you're a bald man.
Okay, good. I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm not attending with any bald men, but if I know any bald men that are going, I'm going to be like, watch out. But Tim, ladies, it's great talking to you. Very excited to come to the show myself. I wish you the best of luck. Break many, many legs.
Thank you
Break
so
all of them.
much.
Thank
Nikki's
you.
already broken hers.
Yeah, well, that's true.
On purpose. Kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. For more information, you can go to crecidaho.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.